to retweet this. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Stochastic.com NBA strategy show presented by Prize Picks. I'm Dave Loughran at Lafayette_D, joined by Josh Engleman at Josh Engleman. Game five. Miami Heat went from like minus 1,100 to win the series to minus 280 in the matter of one game. We're back in Boston. They are, as we assumed would be the case in the event that they won, 8-point home favorites today. This should be fun. Very happy to have you guys with us as always. What's going on, brother?
What's good, man? We got some basketball to talk about today and potentially Saturday. It's going to really, maybe not irritate me. That won't be the right word because it's not like I'm going to go out of my way to work on Saturday. But if we get game 6 on Saturday and it's like not, I don't know. I feel like you and I are supposed to talk about it at that point. And that's just not going to happen. I got to pray for a game 7 now, which I'm obviously praying for anyway.
Yeah, almost feels like obligation at that point.
Yeah. Might have to do that. Might have to make some contenders videos or something. Just doesn't feel right.
Man, every time I tweet, there's this same porn bot that tweets at me. And it's like Rosie XO or something. It's from different accounts, but it's the same images.
Too bad. Are they good?
She's hot, yeah. I mean, she's pretty hot. But it's incessant. And it's just
where do I find these pictures, by the way?
They must. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. There's got to be 1,000 different accounts because every time I tweet, I get it and it's like blurred out. You know what I mean? And then it's it's.
I don't know what you mean. Why is it the way that I blur out the top 5 of my contenders each morning?
No. Like on Twitter, you can set a sensitive image or like nudity. So it blows it out and you have to click to see it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't look for a lot of porn on Twitter, so that would be the first time that I've ever seen a nude woman that I have to click on.
I've seen her respond to Adam as well a lot, and I see like all the DFS guys, the sports betting guys. It's always in there, so it's always blurred out. It's like nudity or whatever, and then of course I click it just to see. But
I think I disabled that. I like promoted. It zooms in.
I'll find that and send it over, but it's incessant. I mean, appreciate the hustle here, but.
I mean, it's better than like, this is how you can get more Bitcoin or whatever. I'd much rather have a giant set of bombs popping up underneath my tweets.
Good point, because I'd much rather see that than, here's the squiggles, only 10,000 minted, and then it's clearly fake. Or the somewhere in a far off land not named America, it's like win big, we win big, can't lose. And then it's just like a $5,000 bet with $1 million winnings, but you can tell the bet hasn't been placed yet.
Yeah. It's way better to get just a giant set of cans.
Yeah. So,
I mean, you should honestly that should be a feature. That's a feature, not a bug.
Oh, I'm not complaining. I just thought I'd fill you in on it. Anyway, happy to have you guys with us. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching or listening after the fact, leave a comment down below. Leave a comment down below. And if you're a podcaster, we know, Josh, we see them, right? Podcast listeners, we know they're out there. Yeah. As Josh.
Don't bring me into that one, man. I don't know that they're out there. Raises
his glass. As of course, podcasters can see that. Leave a rating and a review. Subscribe to the pod. Andrew Palmer said, this is awesome. Yeah, this is better. This goes further than any DFS talk. Thanks for talking about Wim Hof a month or so ago. It has changed my mental health for the better. That's pretty cool, man. The shit works, Josh.
It does. Look, I need to get back into it aggressively. I really enjoyed it. I'd been putting it off for a bit. And it's fun, man. That full body tingle that you get.
Dude, I did it on... I was laying in bed the other day, and I was like just too tired to roll onto my back. I was laying on my stomach like this. I was like, what if I can do Wim Hof laying on my stomach? Straight 3 minutes, man. 3 minutes. And then I started to get nervous because I was like, this is too easy. Am I going to die?
You're just going to pass out face first in the pillow and suffocate?
But yeah, man, it's awesome. It's awesome, especially if you're dealing with like mental health stuff. I wasn't, but I just wanted to do it anyway to improve my game.
You're
That's awesome, man.
the picture of mental health over here.
Yeah, yeah. I am. I am the poster boy for mental health.
Me too.
Who knows? At least it's listen, man. Listen, perception is reality. You know that to be the case. We're going to talk some basketball today.
We are.
But first, we need you guys. Courtney, Chloe, Antoine, Abu.
Courtney, Chloe, is Kim
Steven,
here too?
Nice, Kevin, Al Negro Loco. We need you in chat, kickstart, all you guys to settle a dispute for us. And Josh, I don't want you to say anything yet until we get some responses.
My kind of show, man.
So if you were to go and get something, it's ice cream bookended by 2 chocolate chip cookies. So 2 chocolate chip cookies with ice cream in between. What is that called? What is that called? So what'd you do yesterday, man? You had I gotta play this out for a second, get some comments, which I know are obviously going to be in agreement with me. What'd you do yesterday? No basketball.
A lot of baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to get a lot of baseball shit together. Took my dad for a haircut.
Oh my God, everybody's saying ice cream sandwich. I did not expect this. What?
Yeah, look, I'll let the chat speak for itself here.
Yo, that's crazy.
I told you this was going to happen.
It's a chipwich.
Yeah.
An ice cream sandwich is with the chocolate.
I've apparently found Laffy's burner because Lonnie Howell is the only person that answered this in your way.
This is shocking. That's a chipwich. At least around my way, that's a chipwich.
Like every other thing we do on this show, I'm right again.
I mean, that could not be further from the truth.
Wow, you couldn't be further from the truth in this particular moment.
Apparently not. Apparently not. Wow. That's a chipwich. But apparently not. Apparently I'm wrong. By the way, how about support from my Indian brethren the other day in the Twitter DMs backing me up? How about that? How about that?
You mean support from your Native American brethren?
He said I'm Indian.
Apparently you can't get the name of anything correct at this point.
I'm Indian and I'm laughing my ass off.
Yeah. You can't get anything right now.
So
ice cream sandwiches, Native Americans, you're wrong across the board. I guess
at this point it's 1-1, my friend.
Can you imagine if a Native American person ate an ice cream sandwich, what would happen to you? Jeez.
That's a chipwich, dude. If you go to the ice cream truck, oh, how about this? You go to the ice cream truck and you
what year do you think it is?
And you ask for an ice cream sandwich. They give you the ice cream sandwich.
And they put you in the back of the truck because that guy's going to touch kids.
If you ask for an ice cream sandwich, you do not get what you're referring to. You do not. If you want a chipwich, you get a chipwich.
Yeah, because the guy in the ice cream truck is serving trash and marking it up because he's delivering it to your doorstep for the kids.
Mr. Goblin, no one goes to the ice cream truck. They don't? No one goes to the ice cream truck? Kids don't go to... Yeah, that's bullshit, dude. Of course they do.
I do. I haven't seen an ice cream truck in years. I think they went out with cargo shorts.
They come around my way in the summer, but I guess not often anymore. Yeah, I guess there's a stigma. I don't know.
Yeah, you're going to get scooped up.
But I'm pretty sure
no bits touched.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they still come. Yeah, Choco Tacos were awesome, by the way, from Monday. You still eat Choco Tacos?
Who wouldn't? I'm surprised you don't call them like ice cream burritos or some stupid bullshit. Since you just have made up names for things. Do you know how wrong you have to be for chat to rally behind me?
Apparently in this one, I'm wrong. But you can no longer, after today, however, you can no longer disparage chat and say that their opinion is irrelevant because you're using their opinion to justify yours.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm like a feminist. I will take multiple contradictory stances on things and move forward as if it doesn't matter.
A third wave feminist, but yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. I have a question for you. If you right now, Off the top of your head, not looking at anything, right?
Is this going to be about basketball? I'd much rather go down this food realm.
It's basketball, but we'll go back and forth today. We'll move around. What would you put the odds in your own mind right now at the Boston Celtics taking this 7?
50-50.
It really kind of is, right?
Yeah. It's probably a little bit more than that.
I'd say it's a little less than 50-50.
They're going to be the favorites if they win tonight.
Down 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to Miami, though.
They're going to be the favorites in that game.
No, they will, but it's going to be close.
And if it gets to 7, they're going to be 9, 8.5, 9.
Well, but
7.
If they're 1.5 point favorites, right? If they're 1.5 point favorites, say in Miami, but they still need to win 2 games, I don't know if they'll be
I'm not saying that they're going to be like minus 400 or something, but like I expect the Boston Celtics to be
like slight minus 115 or something.
Yeah, call it 120 plus 100 or something like that type of joint.
You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. It's crazy. We could potentially, and you mentioned the other day, if there was ever a shot at a team being down 0-3 in a series, actually coming back and getting it done. Who knows? Maybe you and I, if there is a game 7, by the way, we're gonna have to do some type of watch along. Like we're gonna have to get together and do a show.
I'm in.
All right.
I'm in. I mean, plus 210 for the Celtics right now. Craziness.
Yeah. Brandon Wagner said 0% chance Boston comes back.
That's a take.
The implied odds right now are 1/3 of the time.
Yeah. Unload a clip on Miami, I guess. If that's the thought process.
Yeah.
You should be mortgaging a house. No, this is real now, man. Look, all they needed was 1. We got to remember, like, all of that, no team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. It doesn't matter any longer. This is a 3-1 series. We've seen that before.
Yo, Boston
3-0 doesn't exist.
Boston has not been great on the road, though, or at home. They
haven't. Look, they just have to shoot. That's all they got to do here. Miami shot the shit out of the ball for 3 games, and then they didn't. If Boston can keep jacking up threes, they're fine.
Do you know what their home record is in the postseason?
Not good. 500.
I think it's 4. I think it's 4-5.
Yeah.
Let's go through it. They lost.
You were going to do this off the top of your head. I have no idea which games they won and lost in those first 2 series.
I could do it off the top of my head.
You can't even name an ice cream sandwich correctly.
They went up. That's a Chipwich, dude. I want to call my wife right now and be like,
do you want me to
ask
text
everyone in the office what this is?
And you're going to just get across the board, be like, ice cream sandwich. It's just like, shit, I'm going to have to text somebody else now. I mean, that was like an assault rifle of ice cream sandwich responses.
It was a barrage, I will say. I must admit. They lost game 5 to Atlanta when they should have just taken care of business. They lost game 1 to Philly, right? Then they lost game 5 to Philly. Then they lost game 1 and 2 to the Miami Heat. So yeah, they're 4-5 at home.
10-11 in their last 21.
What's that?
They're 10-11 in their last 21 per Steven Leibowitz.
So here we go. Hey, you know what else isn't great for Boston? If we're just actually covering everything here, Malcolm Brogdon has had some big performances in the postseason. This injury is not something that we should just kind of like brush off the shoulder. This is
I see what you're doing there.
This is legit.
That's where the injury is.
Yeah, well, the elbow. But partially torn tendon in his elbow down to the forearm.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with that information. It sucks.
I had that once, and it's painful, and it lasts a pretty long time.
Just cranking too hard.
Just ripping, dude, pumping off day and night.
Trying to just rip it off at the stock.
Yeah, just bad news. But no, from hockey. And I tried to play through it, and it just got worse. And then what happened was every time I would shoot, I would try and compensate for it. So my shot got messed up. And then when it finally healed, it took me forever again to figure out how to get my shot back to how it was, because I tried to compensate for the pain that I was dealing with. Assuming it's the same injury. I don't know. I just know it was a partially torn tendon. It sucks. Either way, you look at his playing time and you look at his shooting over the last few games. it's not exactly a surprise once that news drops. You're like, oh, okay, he's 1 for 11, and 0 for 5 from 3 over his last 2 games, and he's played 18 and 17 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with him and with his playing time. I gave him 24 minutes today, which I thought was pretty pessimistic too, but I think I might have to go lower. I don't know. It's weird because if he's hurt, should you even be playing him in the Eastern Conference Finals with your life on the line? What's the difference between him playing 16 minutes and 24 minutes? I have no idea there.
Well, but especially when he's shooting so terribly, especially when he's
right. What's he bringing to the table in those scenarios?
That's what I mean. If he's going, all right, let's just say hypothetically, or theoretically, it's a stamina thing, but we still want to get him out there. He just can't go. He's fine if he goes and plays fewer minutes. But he really, and look, 2 games of poor shooting, Josh, as well as I do, that could just be variance. But, it doesn't seem like it is.
No, it certainly matches the box score watching here. It's really awful. I'm hoping it lessens his ownership. The problem is he's still 6,200 on DraftKings. So I like him today. If you think that he can play 24 minutes, I don't know if he does. All of those minutes probably go to Grant Williams. I don't know if they would try to go to a rotation worth of Sam Hauser or something, which becomes mildly appealing as a 1K punt type situation. My guess is that they would just remove Brogdon and go to everybody else even more. I don't think that somebody new was going to find the rotation in the Eastern Conference Finals, but it is a wrinkle for today that we would not have had.
What about Caleb Martin? Caleb Martin's left 3 games this series and returned in all of them. So until he's inactive, I'm assuming Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent.
I didn't know where you were going there. So
yeah. Gabe Vincent's left 2 or 3. I think he's actually left 3 games throughout the postseason, and he's returned in all of them, and then he's played the next day. He hasn't missed until if he doesn't play. I'm assuming he's in today, Josh.
Yeah, I have him in as well. He's a problem too, because there's that direct correlation to if something is wrong with Gabe Vincent, you better have Kyle Lowry.
Mm-hmm.
He is the direct benefit of this, and Kyle Lowry is falling into a shit ton of minutes if something happens to Gabe Vincent. For now, you're just giving it to Gabe Vincent and you're hoping for the best, and there's potentially minutes to go around here. I would not be surprised if Kevin Love does not start today.
CM with a super chat said favorite Eastbound and Down episode. Danny McBride was just on Matt and Shane's secret podcast with
was he? I'll have to listen to that.
Oscar. Gillis was nervous though. You could tell. He wasn't himself.
I mean, I assume he really looks up to Danny McBride.
You can tell a lot of how he speaks is influenced by Danny McBride and Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, sure. As it should be. Dude's hilarious. He's incredibly successful, puts out multiple television shows that are outstanding. Yeah, I get it.
I don't have a favorite episode. I got to go back and watch it. But
Pilot.
The pilot.
Dude, I have never laughed like that in my entire life for a television show. I had no idea what I was about to see that day. That was amazing. I'm just kidding. I didn't come in my pants. Oh my God, the lines in this stuff. I'm not trying to be the best at exercising. He's shooting. He steps up to I think it's the pilot. I guess this could be the second episode too in my head. When he steps up to the teacher's table during lunch and just casually tells them that he just saw a bunch of kids raping a kid in school, and all the teachers are just what? He's I'm just kidding. And they're like, what?
I gotta go back.
He wrote that into a television show.
I know. The one that sticks with me is when him and Stevie are in the hotel room doing coke with
so good.
It was a great episode. I have to go back and watch. I haven't watched it since I watched it when it aired, every week as it aired.
I've rewatched since then. Obviously, we've talked about it a bit, but to me, the first season is on another level because we just hadn't really seen a show like that. And the first episode for me is the absolute best. I really enjoy the water park episode later on in the show, which is really good. Just a lot of debauchery and ridiculous lines. Stevie running around giving people the shark and stuff under the water at a water park, which that water park is in Wilmington. That is Jungle Rapids.
I'm gonna go back and watch.
It's a good time
when I get a chance. Let's get into some of this. Look at captain ownership. Look at some optimal lineups. Before we do though, Mike L said, so I hit 6 of 6 on Prize Picks. Good stuff. And 5 of 6 also, but today I'm stuck. Not sure if Boston actually shows up 2 games in a row. If you're not on Prize Picks yet, you guys already know the drill. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're in a Prize Picks eligible state, maybe a non-legal betting state, which often is the case if you can play Prize Picks. If you haven't signed up yet, you use the link in the description or the one that Jordan can throw in the chat. You're getting 1 free month of Stochastic Plus Platinum, $120 value, all of our tools, our ownership, our player projections, the top stacks, top pitchers tool, top hitters tool for baseball, everything for MMA, for PGA, for NASCAR. And the great thing is you don't need to even know a lot of these sports. If you're using and leveraging the tools and learn how to use those tools, you're going to be and you have a whole month to try it out, to fine tune your process. So even if you use the tools at first, you wade into the water, maybe playing lower entry fees, doesn't matter. It's free, $120, every tool on the site, including the MLB lineup generator, which is brand new and is absolutely fantastic. So Prize Picks, link in the description and in chat. You're not just getting that. You're also getting 100% first match deposit bonus up to $100. So you're getting the free month of Stochastic Plus Platinum, $120, and you're getting up to 100, double your bankroll out of the gate. You put 10 in, you got 20. You put 100 in, you got 200. You put 50 in, you got 100. It's that simple. Take advantage of it. Link in the description and in chat. And if you have questions about how to use these tools, hit us up. Our premium Discord comes along with this. Steve Buzzard, the Colts, who's just won like $7 million. I'm exaggerating, but like $750,000 in the last month. He does an office hours at noon every single Thursday. That'll be today as well. So if you jump in on that, get your free week, hop in, learn from the best. Check it out. Come join us. It's a blast. Now, how about this? Fella won $80,000 on the $1 million card yesterday.
What did he miss on? It's not going to matter to me. It's going to be probably some random baseball bullshit.
It is.
I forgot there was
baseball.
no NBA.
No, hold on. It is random baseball bullshit, but it's actually kind of a pretty tough beat. I'll tell you why. So he got over on Bryce Miller, fantasy score, McClanahan strikeouts. I bet that as well. Charlie Blackmon. Oh, it was, by the way, 6 overs, but par for the course, right? Yeah. Sergei Bobrovsky over 30.5 saves. Nolan Arenado over a half a strikeout. Now, here's why I feel like, bad beat is an overused term, but I'll just throw it out there for lack of a better one. He had Aaron Judge over 9.5 fantasy points, and Aaron Judge had 3 walks in the game, 5 plate appearances. That game saw 15 runs, 6 of them to the New York Yankees. So what I'm saying is there was every opportunity for Aaron Judge to have that game. And they walked him multiple times with runners on base because they just didn't want him getting a swing.
That had to be like tough to watch.
Tough. Dude, you're coming, you know that you have this, which by the way, 1, 2, okay, so a lot of them actually were still in play. 2 of them were done. So
you got to remember that Orioles Yankees game started like an hour and a half late.
Exactly. It didn't start till around 8:40 or 8:30, I guess. I walked into my hockey game at 8:15 and it still hadn't started. So that's kind of tough because Aaron Judge had every opportunity in the world to get there. But 80K, ain't going to kick it out of bed for eating crackers, Josh.
80K would work. That's for sure.
And if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, every day throughout the NBA playoffs and Prize Picks, they pick a random person to who enters a 6-pick flex play lineup. I think $5 minimum, gets a shot to win $1 million. They give them a card, 6 picks, and if they hit it, they get $1 million. If they hit 5, they get 80K. If they hit 4, they get 16K. You're just taking players. You're taking players, and you're taking the over or the under on a massive variety of stats. And you can mix any sports you want. Shout out to this guy, though. He went 3 different sports. Baseball and hockey. I love it. Anyway, check it out. Hit up Prize Picks. get the free month. Check out Josh's free videos on the Odd Shopper channel for Prize Picks every day, and let's get down to business. All right.
I have two quick things, and please. They are really quick, actually.
Please.
Three quick things. One, there's a free square on Prize Picks right now for Jokic for game 1 of the finals over a half point. You've got some time to be able to use it, but make sure you're using that one. 2.
Wait, can you put a card, Josh? Can you put a card in if it was a 6-pick flex play? I'm not eligible in PA to play on Prize Picks.
Yeah.
Can I put a Jokic in for the finals with 5 players from today, and just like just like any other parlay, it's still like, okay. So you can do multi-day.
But I mean, you're not going to win them. You can't win the million on that, obviously.
No. But I'm saying no. But you can do multi-day cards on Prize. Okay, well, I figured there are some pick'em sites that don't allow that. That's why.
So that's where this was leading me, because this is a free square. So you obviously can't use that. They have futures on here. Could you hang this million till like the end of the NFL regular season? Because they've got Aaron Rodgers passing yards over 4,000. Can you let that milli hang?
Nah, there's
no January.
There's no way, because it would be like Prize Picks is doing this, but they're also doing this from a marketing perspective, as they should, right?
Yeah.
So they're not going to be like, stay tuned till February to see if so-and-so won the $1 million. Although that would actually be a kind of sick sweat for Prize Picks, right? Like if you did go 5 of 5 and then had to wait till January to get an NFL future, that might be kind of sick.
Week 18, it's like, I need 297 passing yards from Aaron Rodgers. You can't even lay off of that. You can't even buy your way out of it.
Out of that. Yeah.
That'd be sick. Okay. Final thing, NBA related. ESPN put out a real stupid ass article about like what the Spurs could trade the first pick for. Just high level dumb shit. First one. Would you trade Joel Embiid for the pick?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
But you also have to understand where my mental state is right now when it comes to Joel Embiid. I'd trade him for a chip witch.
I mean, maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I wouldn't trade him for an ice cream sandwich.
I'm clearly exaggerating. I'm being ridiculous, but I don't think actually you'll probably not be on the same page. It would be a no-brainer for me.
I think it's a snap answer too. This stupid trade is also giving Philadelphia.
You're saying yes.
Yes, snap yes.
Yeah, because it could reset the future of your franchise.
This stupid trade also is getting you McDermott, Devontae Graham, and Toronto's first round pick next year. No doubt. You're doing that in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Without question.
Yeah. The Spurs, the Sixers would say yes to that so quick. If they're competent, they would say yes to that so quickly and try to get that fax to the league before the Spurs realize what they did wrong.
Exactly. Not even a question. You have to do that. It could be the future of your franchise.
Yeah. You just
I don't
have
think
to.
people under a pick like that can reset it can set up your franchise for a very, very long time to come.
Yeah.
Think about it. And it's not even just the franchise, it's the city too. The amount of money something like that brings to a city and attention to a city, it's
like
everything.
It's like $500 million of valuation to each one of these teams the Spurs valuation now, if they wanted to sell, is like $500 million to $1 billion more than it would have been a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever it is. That's why Jordan was dragging his heels and stuff. Like if he's going to sell the Hornets, it's a staggering amount of money if they get Wembanyama.
And if the Spurs change their mind, I'd probably just be like, all right, give me Jeremy Sohan.
Hey, close enough.
All right.
Gabe Vincent out.
Man. What's that?
Gabe Vincent out.
Wow. Okay, so
why? Why? I'm looking at it.
No, I believe you. I'm trying to see if I can get some Lowry bets in real quick.
Oh, yeah. Hustle there.
You want to start talking about some ownership here or exposure for captain?
No, I need to rerun everything. I can't talk about this shit now with no Gabe Vincent. That's insane. Like I can we can walk through what these changes are going to mean. Why is this news coming out right now? Why is it not in anything other than the newsbreakers tab for me too? Where is Underdog getting this? Because I don't see it anywhere yet.
Yeah, and FanDuel hasn't pulled these lines, but I'm watching them come up. They're just moving insanely. That is a good question. FanDuel still hasn't pulled anything, and FanDuel is quick to pull. Let me see if DraftKings pulled the lines. These two were very quick to pull.
I don't.
No.
It not hitting new.
Hold on, dude. They haven't pulled them either. Yes, they did. They pulled Miami. I'm sorry. They pulled Miami. DraftKings pulled Miami.
That's not real Shams. Okay, Shams just tweeted it.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, it's 10:30. Hold on. Injury report. I assume that's why they tweet. I assume that's why that tweet just came out. My guess is that the 10:30 injury report just listed Gabe Vincent out. And let me tell you what, that makes no sense. I can't even get to the injury report. I think that many people are trying to get to that shit right now.
Oh, no question. Man, FanDuel's flying right now. Just blue or green and red everywhere.
10:30 injury report. Gabe Vincent out. So that's where that came from. Wow. So no one knew that.
No.
Because that didn't come out until that injury report hit.
Yeah.
So no one scooped that.
And Kyle Lowry's $5,600.
Well, let's work through it because I could rerun my stuff pretty easily.
Yeah, well, look, I think it would make far more sense for those for you and me who have already done 4 of these for this game, right? It would make far more sense for us to run through this, break this down, and see where the chips fall, because this is a huge piece of news, especially when no sites were preemptively pricing guys with the idea that Gabe Vincent might be out.
No, I mean, well, like, why? I wouldn't have expected to. This is fascinating. I mean, we're also getting some like real dumb takes. I don't want to do this to Jared Weiss, Celtics writer. Vincent has been crucial for the Heat. This is a huge opening for the Celtics to jump into this series with real momentum. Gabe Vincent is going to move this line at best a half point. This is Gabe Vincent we're talking about. We got to stop acting like this is just like, this is relevant for DFS purposes. This is not something that like, this is the thing that the Boston Celtics need to capitalize on. They didn't rule out Bam Adebayo or Jimmy Butler.
I'm not sure it moves the line at all.
Yeah, look, that's why I said at best a half a point.
Yeah.
Like, do you want him to be out? No. But he is like a all told neutral option here. All right, how many minutes? Let's work through all of this, but hit me with what you're saying.
Well, I was going to say, would you rather be Miami without Gabe Vincent or Boston with and forget about the fact that they're 8-point favorites. I'm just saying in general, Miami without Gabe Vincent sucks, but Boston with Malcolm Brogdon apparently at very, very much less than 100%. That could potentially be worse than Miami not having Gabe Vincent today.
Yeah, the Brogdon news is way worse. Okay, so 36 minutes for Kyle Lowry? 34?
You have to. He's already playing minutes alongside Gabe Vincent.
Well, the tricky part becomes how much can he handle, and then who is the quote-unquote backup point guard? It's just Jimmy, I guess.
But okay, so that's kind of the interesting thing in an instance like this, where you have Gabe Vincent, who is out. I want to pull up from the series. Okay, here I got it. All right, so Gabe Vincent and Kyle Lowry. Let's see if this loads for me. It's always hit or miss. In 4 games, have played 48 minutes together. Go with me here for a second.
I'm with you.
That's 12 minutes per game on average, right?
Yeah.
So that means that Lowry was already playing a decent amount of minutes while Gabe Vincent was on the floor. So you're not going to bump him to like 40 minutes tonight.
No.
However,
you can, but we're not.
We're not going to.
Yeah.
To your backup point guard's point, though, if Lowry's already on the floor with Vincent in those minutes, that means that a decent chunk of those Gabe Vincent minutes absolutely have to go somewhere else. This is not what I mean is this is not a situation where it's just this guy starts, this guy is the backup, right? This guy normally plays this many minutes. Now he's going to play all of the minutes that this guy didn't play. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for someone else off the bench. What happens here? Unless Lowry plays 43 minutes, which I just cannot fathom happening. It's possible, but I have a difficult time seeing that be the case.
So far this playoffs, the most minutes that Kyle Lowry has played is 31. I'm going to give him 32 as my placeholder right now. No, I'm going to go 34. You have to. And I thought we were going to lose Kevin Love from the starting lineup. Maybe we don't now, just because there's so many options here.
I'm not sure you can anymore.
No, like I would be pretty aggressively shocked if anybody plays today other than maybe a Haywood Highsmith rotation just to buy out, 6 minutes or something along those lines. I think we're going to get close to 40 for Strus, for Martin, because we have to. How much they think Haywood Highsmith can be out there will be interesting, but no one else is showing up. Like that's not how that's going to work out. So if you go 34 to Lowry, I mean, none of these guys are like capable of the role that we're talking about here. Oh my God, this is wild to think about. I guess Duncan Robinson just has to play a little bit more.
Because Kyle Lowry plays every minute Gabe Vincent isn't on the floor.
Yeah. All right, so we got to go to like at least 34 to Strus. I think you got to go 34 at a minimum to Martin. The problem for Caleb Martin is that there's only so many minutes you can give him if he doesn't start. If they maintain Kevin Love, it's hard to go ultra high to Martin. Otherwise, you're saying when he checks in the first quarter and third quarter, he will never leave the floor again. That's an aggressive projection.
I think it's probably Robinson.
It might be. I'm working my way through right now. So I'm up right now. I'll start saying what I have as placeholders. 38 to Bam, 10 to Zeller. I don't think we have to pay attention to that. 34 to Lowry, Strus, Martin. 42 to Butler. 14 to Kevin Love. He's basically been playing like 7 at the first, 7 at the third. I still have 20 minutes left over with 13 already held by Duncan Robinson. This is a major, major change for DFS, because even if you want to just say, I'm going 20 minutes to Duncan Robinson, let's just say that, like, oh, that's a pretty big bump for him. He played 10 minutes last game. There's still 13 more minutes to be accounted for in my stuff. So either Haywood Highsmith has to play, or you have to get aggressively bigger minutes from one of Kevin Love or Duncan Robinson.
If I had to guess, I think it'd be Robinson.
Maybe. We saw in game 4 that they finally started trying to pick on people in the pick and roll. That's going to become Duncan Robinson. Jason Tatum was making it be Gabe Vincent in game 4. It would now be Robinson. I don't know if they would go to Love over Robinson. If you think that both of them are going to get beat in pick and roll coverage, maybe you go Love for the size. I mean, I'm going to go up to 16 minutes now onto Love. I'm going to go to 22 minutes onto Robinson. I still have 9 more to go, which makes me think that I got to go 36 Strus, 36 Martin, and I'm still going to be short. I think it's going to be really difficult to not project Haywood Highsmith for a rotation.
Let me just back up for a second. Let me back you up for a second. This truly might just be the case where Kyle Lowry plays 40 minutes.
I'm giving him 36 now because I'm running out of places to hand those minutes out.
the more I look at this Miami roster, the more I look at guys that could get minutes, that could soak up that opportunity. Like, can you throw Jimmy at just kind of have him as like a de facto point guard along with Bam Adebayo, just two guys out there that only touch the ball? I mean, maybe, but I don't know. The more I look at this, and I know you're feeling the same way as I do as we work through this. I simply don't see an alternative to playing Kyle Lowry huge minutes today. I don't see an alternative.
I agree. Here's something that is going to be very interesting. In the playoffs, and maybe I should shrink this this length of time to maybe this series. And Teabagging Time just asked this question. Can Strus and Robinson get run together now? They've played 20 minutes alongside of each other so far. Robinson and Strus.
Wait, in the series?
Yeah.
How much of it was blowout run in that huge game where they smoke? I'll look.
Well, I mean, regardless, 20 is not a lot to me, and I don't know how much they can put those guys out there together. I don't think that you can play Duncan Robinson and Max Strus together that much, but they're in a spot where like they might not be able to. I'm starting to think that we are going to get 40 out of Bam, Martin, Butler, and Lowry.
Me too.
Strus is going to get mid-30s, and everybody else is just going to rotate around that.
I don't. What does the lineup look like when Lowry's off the floor?
It's got to be Butler and Bam. Butler and Bam have to be on the floor when Kyle Lowry's not.
They have to. You have no alternative.
Martin has to be on the floor at that point in time. That's 3.
And then Strus or Robinson.
I think it's going to be Kevin Love plus Strus in those scenarios. If you've got Duncan Robinson out there along with Max Strus, that's going to go really well for Boston if they're not dumb.
Man. Lowry has to play. Lowry has to play a lot. That's all. That's the only conclusion that I'm drawing from all this. He's going to have to play a ton.
So I have my minutes updated for these assumptions right now. I can get my sim results done immediately. And then I can get lineups done once we start talking. So I'm going to get the DK sim running right now. I'll have that in a minute.
All right. While we do that, just wanted, for those of you guys out there who are kind of enjoying whether it's DFS or betting, whatever it is, our chalkboard channel, we just hit 2,100 members. A little call out to you guys if you're not in there yet to come join us. We had a couple huge nights recently. Sick Mosh. Here, throw this up on the screen, Jordan. Sick Mosh. Well, this is just one of many from yesterday. Follow Greg and Laffy. Aton hits his 1,000 parlay of the month, and the tools just destroyed today, guys. I hit over 1K just today. Tools literally pay for themselves. Yeah, it was one of those days. Greg and I were in there posting the BetPro picks, Odd Shopper premium picks, and just we rolled because so many guys in that chalkboard that hang with us are using BetPro and Odd Shopper to get their bets in every day. And we've just built a sick community. It's free, by the way. Chalkboard is 100% free. Even if you don't have a BetPro or Odd Shopper subscription, Odd Shopper is still free for the first week. And BetPro is half off for the first month. It's a great introductory price. Links to both of them in the description. But even if you don't have that and you just wanted to peek around a little bit, hop in, tail some of the bets that we're pulling from there and from elsewhere, whether the strikeout props on BetPro recently have been like, I will say unsustainably hot because you can't just keep winning them at an 80% clip or whatever it's been, but absolutely murdering strikeout props recently, hit props, total bases. We throw a bunch of home run stuff in there, NBA stuff. Click the link, join it. It's a free app. All the picks in there are free. You can sync your sports books. The box scores are built in. It's so cool, man. And I've personally had an awesome time building that community up with you guys, whether it's from this channel or the Odd Shopper channel. We're all like-minded people with the same things, same goals in mind when it comes to betting. So come join us. Link in the description. It takes a second to sign up, and everything about it is free forever. All right, where are we at?
This is going to be nuts, dude. Truly,
Yeah.
truly nuts. I whiffed on something, so I'm rerunning, but it takes, a short amount of time to get here. Ultimately, there are a couple things that we can say right away with regards to just the logic of all of this. And that is that you basically have to play Kyle Lowry now. I would be very surprised if he's not the highest owned guy, because he's just not priced like he has to play those kind of minutes. We were getting $5,600 Kyle Lowry as a 26 minute a game guy, and he might be a 36 minute a game guy for today. I think Kevin Love by default looks a lot more interesting. Obviously, Duncan Robinson looks a bit more interesting at 3,800, but I think Kevin Love is probably the easier guy to want to get to, especially with 13K Jimmy, 13K Tatum. I think we're live to see like 46 minutes out of Jimmy Butler now. That's a thing. Balancing Strus and Martin has become an interesting thing. How many shots do you want to take on Haywood Highsmith at the flat minimum is at least a question that matters. We got a lot going on now, dude. I'm way more intrigued for today's game now.
So am I. And to your point earlier about the line not moving, not only did the line not move, and maybe a half a point, not only did it not move, never even came off the board.
No. Why would it? Although Colin in chat's telling us it's going to go to 10.
If it goes to 10, here's the thing. If it goes to 10, which anything's possible, it will have nothing to do with Gabe Vincent.
No, I assume somebody else is out.
That's what I mean. These books over the past few years, Greg Ehrenberg and I talk about this all the time, have been very, very quick to adjust, to pull them off the board and adjust. Yeah. A few years ago, you used to be able to swipe.
You get minutes.
What's up?
You'd have minutes.
You'd have minutes. Yeah. And minutes are a lot when you've got notifications going straight to your phone, right?
Yeah.
You could swoop in, snipe good spots, then they come off the board, they open up, you have immediate instant closing line value in your pocket. You can still do that with smaller books.
Yeah.
You're going to get limited on them. Like, Bet Rivers and those books, they're just going to, and a lot of them are going to limit you, but you come in and you get what you can while the getting's good. No doubt. They're going to limit you. So will DraftKings, unfortunately.
Yes, they will.
They do. FanDuel's been real good about it. But the point I'm making is they're real quick to pull these. If they're just like, leave it up, it kind of tells you all you need to know. But again, and you made this point a few minutes ago, massive implications from a DFS perspective. We have to completely decouple the two. Like, there's no attachment from a betting and a DFS situation in this. Just because the line doesn't change in the game doesn't mean everything about a single game showdown slate, everything changes now.
Yeah. So I have it now, sim results at the very least for DraftKings to start, because, FanDuel, whatever. I still have Jason Tatum as your number one option, and I think that maintains because nothing's really changed there. Kyle Lowry is now very clearly, to me, the second best option that you can get to today. And I have him in 36 minutes, projected for 31 fantasy points, 18% chance of being your optimal captain, 47% chance of being optimal in the utility, 66% overall into the optimal lineup. He has just become a fantastic option. I've got Kevin Love 6th overall. Caleb Martin obviously looks a bit better. Strus looks a bit better, but this seems to be, at least for me right now, the Kyle Lowry show.
I'll say this much. We did recently update ownership.
Yeah.
I think the Lowry ownership is still very, 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 very low here. That's going to be a lot higher than that, in my opinion.
What do we have it at?
46% and 7% of captain.
Undoubtedly.
Got to be.
Yep. Which, look, it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it's our first. I think when we do stuff this early in the day, it's just to give you some representation of what's going on. Like this, these will be massaged all day long. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. I'm just saying, I still see him come up a ton, and I expect him to be way higher than that by the time our ownership projections update. Like when we update these projections in an hour or two again, it's going to look different than it is now. This
For
was just
sure.
a quick, hey, we know these guys are on the show. Let's get something in there for them. That's what it is.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, Kyle Lowry is just good. He just has to be.
What do you think what do you think captain ownership is going to look like on him?
I mean, he came out of my shit at 18%. That's more than everybody but Tatum.
I'm honestly surprised it's not higher. There's no Jokic.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
there is
saying
a Tatum and a Butler.
What's that?
There is a
Oh,
Tatum
yeah.
and a Butler. I love
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown in the captain spot today. He's pulling the ownership as well, but
Yeah, no
that's
doubt. Look, maybe I'm just maybe that's just a hair trigger reaction to that. But I guess I'm just thinking it's it's very infrequent that you get somebody like Lowry who could legitimately play 40 minutes today. I get it. He's getting up there in age. I don't know what their alternatives are. Playing that many minutes already on a per minute basis has not been that bad in the postseason.
yeah.
Not great, but not bad. Now you can get huge minutes from a guy who does have legitimate playmaking, ball handling responsibilities in this offense. Like when he's on the floor, Josh, he has a lot more responsibility as a ball handler than Gabe Vincent does. That's what's crazy to me.
Oh yeah, by miles.
Yeah.
By miles.
Just not as much scoring as we've seen from Kyle Lowry, but still, could you get a 15 and 10 game with 5 rebounds today? You could. I mean, I'm not betting him the double, but if he plays as many minutes as we think that he could, yeah, Kyle Lowry could be huge today. So maybe you're right. 18-20% seems about right as far as exposure goes. How much of them did you say you have in total?
He showed up 60 something percent in my sim, 66%. I actually have lineups ready too. I'm just pasting them all into my sheet now, but like we can actually have like real conversations now.
Yeah, that's how let's close the show out with that. Like actually going over these lineups, seeing if there's any like real cheap guys we need to get to or any cheap guys that open up as a result. I think we discussed this earlier. It really seems unlikely that that'll be the case. And maybe you wouldn't even need to do that now that you can get to so much Lowry with confidence. But let me ask you that before we get in the lineups. Do you think there is any merit to going with one of these 1K guys on Miami and thinking, you know what? Maybe we're wrong about Lowry. He still plays 35, but someone comes out of nowhere in this rotation and plays 10.
Well, I think Haywood Highsmith and Cody Zeller are like Highsmith is sort of like the only guy that could play for the Miami Heat that doesn't play for the Miami Heat at this point. So I think Highsmith as a punt play that could get a rotation spot now is real. Cody Zeller was just real by default at this point because he was already the backup center. I don't think that unlocks anybody else, but what you are doing is guaranteeing that one of, if not both of Kevin Love and Duncan Robinson have to play potentially some more minutes. If you're not a believer in Love, then it's Robinson. If you're not a believer in Robinson, then it's probably Love. But I don't think that we're unlocking anything so crazy there. We got to remember that this is the playoffs. And the most likely scenario for what's going to happen today is that they're going to take everybody that's already playing, and all those guys are just going to play significantly more minutes.
Let's go over some of these lineups.
Alrighty. 30. I now have 39% Kyle Lowry captain.
And shout out to you for getting these done in the matter of time that it took me to do a read. So
yeah.
Nice work. You guys should check out BetPro and OddsShopper, by the way.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I know you can in North Carolina, but you have Pick'em Pro, which is all of our Pick'em, like, Prize Picks and all the other Pick'em sites. I'm telling you though, it's been a hell of a run lately. Just come in, just come in there and lurk in chalkboard. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let that make the decision for you. Go ahead though.
Okay, so I ran my lineups. I sorted down to 150. Handled that entire process. Kyle Lowry is a guy that at the captain spot I'm getting to a lot. Even if we want to say that his ownership doubles at the captain spot, goes from 7 and change to 13 or 14 by the time we get to lock, I still think that he's a mild priority there. He's in 92% of my lineups right now. I think you just have to have a lot of them and eat that sort of chalk. But maybe that changes and I feel a little bit different, but he's clearly the best play that you can get to now. we'll see what my volume looks like once he is owned more. Duncan Robinson, if we're right at 13% ownership, becomes the GPP differentiator for Miami. I'm happy to get to Kevin Love at 2,200. I'm not getting nearly as much Strus and Highsmith as I expected. It must just be because Kyle Lowry creates too much value.
That's what I was thinking. Plus, you're getting a lot of Lowry at captain, which is opening up a ton of value.
Yeah. And that'll get even bigger then too as the day goes on. But it's Kyle Lowry season now. It just sort of has to be. And we still don't know what to do with Brogdon yet. Like I'm getting to 2x the field of Brogdon because his ownership is as low as it is.
I'm kind of happy that this happened during a show. It gave us a new spin on a show that we've been doing for a while now.
Yeah, I'm not mad about this at all.
No. Miami's still sitting at +8, by the way. Yeah.
Of course. I mean, it was never going to move.
How many minutes do you give to Robert Williams today?
Great question. So they split the 48 minutes at center in game 4. I think,
and that was with
26-22 or something like that. Something along those lines.
Was knocking a bunch of threes down early on, and they still split.
Yeah, I think I went 27-21. Let me double check that. Yeah, I went 30-21. I always there's no way that I'm going to project them to only play the center minutes. Like it's always viable for them to see a minute or two alongside of each other. So that is how I have it right now. Robert Williams is a problem for me. He's 4,600 on DraftKings. I think that's a very reasonable price tag, even for backup center run. He's stupidly priced on FanDuel too. I want to say that he's 7K. That can become an incredible value option if that's a direction you want to go. So I like Robert Williams. I am a little nervous. They could probably get away with it a little bit more now, but he's my 4th most exposed Celtic behind Tatum, Brown, and currently Brogdon, but it won't be Brogdon.
And then the last question I have for you before we close this one out. By the way, I appreciate you guys hanging with us every morning. Again, if this is the last one until the finals, had a fun ride, man. We might have to pull a montage of all the insane shit that's been talked about over the past.
I don't think we want to promote that.
I would. Why not? It's fun.
Well, I mean, it depends which ones we mean.
These people are adults. If you can't handle it, get out of here. Plus,
they're in adult bodies, at least.
I'll tell you what, the stuff I listen to, like the comedy podcasts I listen to, anything you or I could possibly say is as mild as it possibly comes.
Well, I want to say those things. I just don't. You've heard me say most of those things in private.
I know. And guess what? Most people find it funny because the thing is, it can't be offensive if it's funny. Here's what I mean. If you laugh at it, because laughing is instinctual, right? You don't choose to laugh about something, right? Laughing is reflexive. So if someone says something and it might be very offensive in the sense that like, oh, wow, but you're cracking up, you can't get mad at that, because if something's offensive but also funny, they did their job. The ones that go wrong, and man, you want to talk about just absolute cringe, is when someone says something offensive trying to be funny, like stand-up or whatever, and it bombs because it wasn't good.
It's the best.
And you just, oh man.
That's the best part of it all.
Yeah. But if it's funny, doesn't matter. That's how I live, man. If it's funny, it's funny. Funny is funny. Stop trying to tell people otherwise.
Is Jimmy Butler a better option now or a worse option now? Or neutral?
I don't think Kyle Lowry being on the floor hurts Jimmy Butler more, if that's what you're asking. I really don't. I mean,
sure.
I don't think you're going to tell Jimmy, hey, take your foot off the gas, ease off the gas a little bit. I'd say neutral.
Yeah, same.
Maybe slight upgrade if he plays 46 minutes. Maybe a slight upgrade from an additional minute or two, but I'd say essentially neutral.
Yeah, I would agree there. I would agree there.
You know what I was wondering though, with Malcolm Brogdon in the state that he is, which is not great. He's played 17 and 18 minutes over his last 2 games, and clearly he's dealing with something. Then you got 29 minutes in back-to-back games for Grant Williams. We didn't really talk a whole lot about that. Grant Williams coming off a nice game. He is still pretty damn cheap. Like, he's not minimum salary, but he's 2,600, and he's effectively playing 30 minutes per game over the last 2.
That's the question, right? How much are they going to play Brogdon? Because every minute that Brogdon plays is probably a minute that Grant Williams isn't playing.
Exactly.
That's where that balance becomes interesting. Grant Williams at 2,600. I like it. He's 38% owned. That's the 4th highest owned guy on the Celtics behind Tatum, Brown, and Smart. That just feels like an interesting distribution. If he's going to be almost twice as owned as Robert Williams, that starts to become an appealing way to pivot. I like Grant Williams a bit. I don't know what to do with Malcolm Brogdon's minutes. That's the biggest issue here. Things seem to be better now that they're playing Grant Williams. I've been advocating for that for more than a couple games. I don't have a ton of Grant Williams right now. Maybe that changes by the time we get to lock. I don't think he's I think figuring out Grant Williams and Kevin Love is a really interesting dynamic.
It's going to be really interesting. There's several interesting dynamics here. Brogdon, Grant Williams, Kevin Love, Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson. So many of them are tied to each other as well. If in Miami with Kyle Lowry, if he does only play 32 minutes, then that throws everything for a loop. Or if Kevin Love only plays, 12, 13 minutes again, and I don't know. I don't know. Let's wrap it up with this then. Are you taking at the moment any stands following this Gabe Vincent news? I don't think Lowry, getting to a lot of Lowry is a stand. You know what I mean? Lowry is going to be very popular, as he should be. Are there any stands you're taking here? Maybe saying, all right, give Brogdon less or more minutes. Grant Williams getting to a lot of him. Maybe Highsmith or more Duncan Robinson, more Kevin Love. Are there any stands right now that could kind of dictate the direction of your night, given the information we have right now at 11 o'clock in the morning?
I mean, based on our current ownership projections, I think Duncan Robinson would be the primary stand for me. I think that he's going to get first crack at a couple extra minutes. He's looked better in this series for sure. He's gone from a guy that was not really a part of their plans for most of the season to sort of redeeming himself and maybe being able to be traded now finally on that contract. So I think Duncan Robinson would be my first guy in terms of people that aren't getting the love. I do like Love. That's fine. Does this make Caleb Martin more interesting? Yeah, but he's already 6,600. So there's only so much you could squeeze out of that one. It probably makes me like Jaylen Brown a little bit more because I already liked him before that. And now he's even more cost efficient in a weird way because that $9,800 price tag is just so far away from Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum. And I think today is finally the day where, maybe not finally, but he's been such a dog shit shooter over the past couple games. I feel like going home for game 5, getting that crowd behind you. I think this is the way that Jaylen Brown gets his shot back for this series.
We'll see.
I don't think the trickle down of this Vincent news is as crazy as it seems. We know exactly what we need to do. There's just no one's going to be confident that it's Robinson or Love. You just kind of have to take those shots, pay attention to the ownership, zig when everybody else wants to zag in a large field contest.
No question. All I'm saying is I think a lot of it is contingent upon whether Lowry plays 31, 32 or 41 minutes. I mean, I think I think that's a huge question mark right now, and we'll have to find out.
I don't think that he can only play 32 minutes today.
But that's what I mean. But what if physically he can't be out there for 40 minutes? I'm sure he can, but
I think it's got to be 36 as a projection or higher.
Probably.
They just don't have any other options.
All right.
Super chat.
All right. What do we got? And by the way, 20 likes to 100. We got 356 people here with us. If there's 20 of you who could be kind enough to take a single second this beautiful morning and click that thumbs up button, it would take us a long way. And we appreciate you for your commitment to the Stochastic NBA Strategy Show all throughout the season. Courtney Crump, Josh, having access to Stochastic in your own projections, why choose your own projections on the show instead of Stochastic, since these are the projections we all use?
Ego? I don't know. It's easier for me to update this than wait as well. Like we turned that around really quickly.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We have to wait on the back end every time.
Right. Like Rich could have been taking a shit or like cooking kids breakfast or something like that. And like, you just don't get it by 11 o'clock.
Because outside of this show right now, there's no value to projections being immediately updated on the site for basketball.
No, like this is not a time where I would expect anybody to be on call to make that update.
No.
So I have it in front of me that I can make that change. Now, if we're talking like just on a day-to-day basis, it's just because that's what's in front of me. It's usually easier for me to just talk about everything that I have in my sheet. And it then creates a situation where instead of you and I only looking, and like people should default to the projections on the site, but I think it creates an easier time for you and I to do a show if we have slightly different sources of information. Otherwise, it's just me and you being like, well, this is what this says, and this is how we're moving forward. Right. It allows to create different perspectives while you and I have to talk on the show.
Hit that thumbs up. Oh, actually, don't hit it. We got 100. Thank you, guys. You're the best. We'll see you back here maybe for game 6. Maybe for game 6. Actually, no, we wouldn't. Is that for sure Saturday? If it is,
it's Saturday, Monday.
Oh, Memorial Day. We'll maybe see you here for game 7 then.
What's Memorial Day? The holiday that doesn't exist.
One way or another. We'll see you guys soon. Shout out to Jordan Klein for producing this show. Follow Josh at Josh Engleman, me at Lafayette_D, and we'll catch you back here for the next one. Peace. What do you mean the holiday?